welcome to Devils United. Today we're back with another preview for Manchester United versus Crystal Palace, and we've got Nate. Nate, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking forward to this. A little bit nervous making my debut on the channel, but we'll see how it goes.
You'll be absolutely fine. I know you'll be absolutely fine. Before we do jump into the comments, I am going to make people aware there has been a certain incident, what has been about on social media. If as Ravi has mentioned, if the certain name gets mentioned, you're gonna get timed out. Even if you're a moderator, I'll be timing you out. So I'll be making that aware. So don't make any comments, don't ask any questions because they're not going to be answered, and you'll get the time out. So it's your decision what you want to do. Hey there, Reese. I hope you're well. Thank you for coming in. Hey there, Ravi. I hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Hey there, Niall. I hope you're well. Thank you for coming in. Hey there, Luca. I hope you're well. Thank you for coming in. Hey there, Nippon. I hope you're well. Thank you for coming in.
Hey,
Lucas said, Palace for me, be hard. I remember back in the day, Palace won at Old Trafford, Darren Ambrose.
That was a good day. That was a good day. But it doesn't quite beat Patrick Van Aanholt's last-minute winner in the Premier League. That was a good day because I was in a pub full of Manchester United fans. So I enjoyed that one because I was hearing all the songs.
Did you have to hide your top? Did you have to hide?
Yeah.
Reese has already got my first question asked, and that was about your thoughts on the season so far for you.
I think he's more asking you about Palace than me about United.
Wait a minute, am I reading this wrong? Thoughts on Palace season so far? That was me wrong. Thoughts on Palace season so far and on Vieira. Nate, same question, but on Man United and Ten Hag. I'll go with you first on Man United and Ten Hag.
Okay, well, so with Ten Hag, obviously, he first ironically saw a glimpse of what he was inheriting against us at the end of last season at Selhurst Park, a 1-0 win for us, which was a very, very rare thing. It's like, wait, we beat United at home? Is that a thing? I mean, the last time we did it was like before the Premier League happened, so that's how long ago that was. But with Ten Hag, I think a lot of people underestimate how good a manager he is. Because we've seen previous Ajax coaches come to the Premier League, frank the ball, and absolutely stink the place out. So there was that stigma of, is he going to settle? Is he going to get the right mentality? Is he going to change that dynamic of a Manchester United dressing room that player power was the highest point? Because let's be clear, Jose Mourinho was a serial winner, but player power pushed him out. Ralf Rangnick is meant to be the dad of gegenpressing. Player power pushed him out. But you can see from the earliest point of United season, Ten Hag turned around what was for us, very hilarious start, getting smacked by Brentford. And he said, you know what? This team is better than those scorelines predict and show. And he's changed it around. And look, United, they've massively improved this season. So I'm not looking at this game and thinking, it's United. They're rubbish. It's like, well, hold on. They're a half-decent side. So every now and again, you can shock a big team, but Old Trafford, the fear factor, as I said on our channel, it's not coming straight back, but it's there. And you want to be wary when you play United now because they're not as bad as they were under Ole and under Rangnick and all these teams. Like, they're a serious team, but the problem they still have is there's players there that should have long gone after previous managers. So, we'll have to see how the game pans out on Saturday. But with United, look, you're a worry, but every team up there is a worry because Newcastle right now are the team everybody's looking at going, how the hell did they get up there? But credit to them, they haven't spent big and they're up there. Everybody's saying, they're going to buy their way up the league. Anybody with their money would want to buy their way up the league. What are you talking about? If you're offered 900 billion, you're not thinking, should we stay in mid-table and not shoot our way into the Champions League? Yeah, let's do that. We don't want to play Champions League. It's overrated anyway. Don't be silly. No, look, United are a danger. Put it that way. They're a danger. So, I think a lot of clubs will be wary of United next season. This season, you kind of maybe hit it too late to really be a threat because Arsenal came out of nowhere. Nobody saw Arsenal doing as well as they did. But seeing Liverpool and Chelsea fall off, it's like, that's kind of refreshing, actually. Because Liverpool rode the Mane and Salah thing way too hard. I know. Okay. And look, seeing Chelsea doing crap is just refreshing. It's like, what do you know? Money can't make you great all the time. Ain't that something? But United are a problem. They are a problem, Maisy. And I'm not remotely thinking, oh, we're going to do fine. It's like, just get this game out of the way. Like I did at Selhurst Park, just get it out of the way. I don't care about the score. Just get it out of the way. Get all these tough games out of the way and we'll be okay. Because until we play, I think it's Brentford, we've got Brighton. And it's like, why are we playing all the good teams now? Like, it's not football. Look, it could be peak, but it is what it is.
For me with Crystal Palace, I think that last season you were such an underrated team in a way. Like you finished mid-table, but you transformed your football, and it's continued into this season. And I think a lot of people was trying to say, Patrick Vieira was going to get caught out because he played so well last season. And is it a second season syndrome for Patrick Vieira? And I genuinely don't think that was the case. He's brought out the best of Zaha. Edouard's been fantastic. And you're bringing in some great additions. I know Mitchell was he one of your youth players, I believe?
Yeah, Mitchell is another one off the line at Cobblers Cup. He's an academy graduate like Zaha, like Wan-Bissaka, like Nathaniel Klein, who's still at the club. So there's a few. There's like, my God, we've got old boys from the academy, new boys from the academy. And now we've had our youngest ever player who made his debut in the Newcastle draw. And I went, he wasn't born when we got relegated in 2005. Oh, my God, I'm old. Jesus Christ. But yeah, it's, I think with Vieira, Maisy, it's kind of crazy that when Lampard and Gerrard got their jobs at Villa and Everton, it was like, they're going to lead them both to great things. And Vieira's the first to get sacked. And I went, hey, Daily Mail, you sure about that, yeah? Because Vieira got Palace to a cup semi-final. Lampard nearly got sacked and nearly got Everton. Well, he did get sacked, but he nearly got Everton relegated. And Gerrard fell off a cliff because the level between Villa and Rangers is it's a bit of a climb. Don't get me wrong. Rangers are a big club in Scotland. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to diss Scottish football, but I was thinking, imagine being the Daily Mail thinking that Patrick Vieira was the first to get sacked and he out-survives Lampard and Gerrard. I love irony. I really do. Because Vieira got us to an FA Cup semi-final with Jeffrey Schlupp in midfield. How, I do not know. I don't know how he did that, but the man's a miracle worker. So I'm thinking, Schlupp in midfield. I'd rather play with 10 men. Probably play better with 10 men.
Is it like playing with 10 men, though?
No. To be fair, when Slot comes off the bench, he's way more effective. It's because, like, for some reason, Will Hughes cannot get a look in, even though Will Hughes, with prior to this season, like MacArthur and Gallagher last season, would have been the most effective midfield three if Eze wasn't playing. Because Eze and Schlupp off the bench are effective. Eze starting, since his injury, he's kind of been hot and cold. Elise last season was the spark we knew nothing about because we're like, we got him for 8 million. You know, other clubs, Liverpool were looking at him and we swiped him and I went, we're out swiping Liverpool for players? I didn't realize that was possible. But to be fair, like, we've had to put up with Jordan March, Fraser Campbell, Shola Amiobi, Emmanuel Adebayor. We've had horrible signings. So to actually get decent players, I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like having good players. They're not going to be here long enough. Bring back Chef Kikuchi and them, man. No, but it's mad that you look at what he did last season and we're 2 points better off this season, but our fan base is saying we're in a relegation battle. I went, how does that work? We're 2 points better off than at the same stage last season. What? Like,
I was looking at the Premier League table, though, and your goal difference is a bit worse, though. And that's about it.
Yeah, but to be fair, when you don't sign a backup left back to cover Mitchell and he falls off a cliff, you've still got Nathaniel Klein and Joel Ward, who are old age pensioners at right back. Chris Richards, until recently, may as well have been the invisible man. And Nathan Ferguson's disappeared into the TARDIS. Like, we've had no defense all season. So it's just like, oh, great. And then and Guaita's decided to pick and choose when he wants to keep a clean sheet, which is like, mate, that's kind of not the point here. You need to try and keep a clean sheet as much as possible. But it's been mad because, like I've said, we're doing better off points wise this season, but we're in a relegation battle according to our fan base. We've signed 2 players on deadline day. All of a sudden, we're not in a relegation battle. I went, this fan base is beyond flip flop. It's crazy because I'm looking at it thinking we're not as bad as people say. The only games we've been awful this season was Spurs at home. We got battered 4-0 in the second half. I'm like, Spurs are genuinely doo-doo, and they just clapped us 4-0 at home. I hate football. And Fulham, where we had 2 players sent off, I went, we're playing James Tompkins in 2022. Is this life? Oh, give me a Lord. But being Palace fan is never boring. You don't get this, oh, we finished 5th, let's sack the manager. No, we're happy we're finishing 10th and not getting relegated. So it's never dull. But yeah, look, what can I say? It's great having Jeffrey Schlupp in midfield because you know you're gonna lose. Oh, Schlupp's played. We've lost. Game over. We surrender. Game over.
Hey there, Jordan. Thanks for coming in. I hope you're well. I was just looking at the table as you were saying it. Is that you're literally 3 games clear from bottom place?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not understanding. I'm just as confused as yourself. From
if I speak, I'm in trouble. That's all I'm gonna say. If I speak, I'm in trouble.
Well, there was a player who you did sign in. It was in the summer, and he was also linked to Man United, and he was a 16-year-old from Derby.
18-year-old, yeah, Malcolm Abue.
He's 18. I thought he was 16 for some reason. What's your thoughts on Binding this season for him?
So with Malcolm Abue, well, for one thing, to see a player choose Crystal Palace over Manchester United was impressive because I'm thinking, this isn't FIFA. What? But in pre-season, he looked the real deal. Because, I mean, granted, he sent Fred for a hot dog. I was like, okay, I like what I see here because we haven't had tricky wingers that can twist a player up in knots since, ironically, Balassi and Zaha. Like, Townsend was great at driving forward and defending and covering the blushes of Wan-Bissaka when he first broke through. But Malcolm Abue has actually gone on loan to Hull City, funnily enough now. He's on loan to the rest of the season because he hasn't really gotten a lot of minutes, but he's definitely one for the future. And there's kind of an inkling that he might be the long-term Wilf replacement if Rak-Sakyi doesn't break through the next couple of seasons, because Rak-Sakyi is currently on loan at Charlton, who played against you in the League Cup. And whilst the Charlton fans were booing Wan-Bissaka, who was an ex-Palace player, they were cheering for a current Crystal Palace player. So I'm thinking, you're booing a player who no longer plays for us, but you've got a player who does play for us on loan at your club. I love Charlton fans. They are beyond stupid. Whatever they're drinking over there in SC7, Maisy, I want nothing to do with it because it's close to Domestos or something. I don't want to touch it. It's something wrong with it, but it's crazy because I think Abue, if Vieira had the luxury of giving him more minutes this season, he could have maybe been one to look out for. But I think it's the right thing not giving him that pressure of starting him too early because I didn't watch a minute of Derby last season, so I couldn't tell you how good he was or, what's he like. Yeah. What I saw in pre-season, I was like, oh, there's something there. But pre-season's never the best barometer to judge young players on because any young player can look like a world beater in pre-season. If they're smacking up Crawley Town 13-0, it's like, well, it's Crawley Town. It's not Barcelona. It's not Real Madrid or Inter Milan. It's Crawley Town. No disrespect to Crawley Town, but you know what I'm saying, that there's a level to which you want to judge young players on. But if he smashes it, Haaland comes back a better player, then maybe we'll see him next season. But knowing how Steve Parish likes to work things, we might actually stick Luka on another 2-year contract, which, oh God, I can't lift that again. I can't have Luka Milivojevic in midfield again. I can't do it. I might have to check myself into a mental asylum. But no, it's fun being a Palace fan because we've got a lot of older players that we're looking to get rid of, but the young players we're bringing through at first team and academy level, it's very exciting for us at the
minute. Yeah, I agree with you in terms of pre-season because I look at Anthony Martial and think this guy who like the next kind of Ronaldo 9, the way he was banging in the goals, and then you got him can't even catch a bloody break with his injuries. So I think this is the problem with pre-season. It sometimes it can overhype, and especially when you're looking in where he was playing for Derby, and I think it was a very bad, not a very bad team, but it was a very bad environment to be in, because he knew regardless he was going to get relegated. And I think the team had great spirit not to be relegated till near enough the end of the season, but I think he just always knew, like, we're going down no matter what. And I don't think it was that kind of great place for someone so young to be in.
No, but at the same time, I think when you look at young players that are in that situation, that can either shape them into, right, I never want to experience this again. They might say, I don't care if I go to a mid-table championship club and maybe never touch the Premier League, or if I go to a mid-table Premier League club like Palace, I never want to feel like my career is in jeopardy for dropping down into a lower division. And let's be honest, if Derby County's finances weren't absolutely down the toilet as they were, they probably wouldn't have been anywhere near that relegation zone. They're a massive club. But at the same time, if your house isn't in order financially, you know what I mean? Like, we know how administration feels. We had it twice in the same decade in the 2000s. It was like, administration again? Did we not learn from the first one? Clearly not. But I think players like Abue and to an extent Martial, although Martial's not really in that young player anymore. He's not in that young player bracket, because Jesse Lingard was in that bracket for years. And I'm just like, he's not that young a player though. He's an all right player, but he's not that young a player anymore. Like I said, it depends on what he does for Palace when he comes back under Patrick Vieira, because at the minute Vieira is very happy to see young players get minutes outside the club, because there's a couple of players we have on loan that I'm thinking, why aren't we playing them now when they're actually making our first teamers look like amateurs? But
is one in Carlisle who's gone to Crystal Palace player in Carlisle United.
Carlisle, yeah, John Kamani Gordon, yeah. He's at Carlisle. He's been on fire lately. But again, like I said, when your young players go on loan to League Two and they're bossing, you're like, okay, that's a good starting point, but he's not the next Mbappe. I'm just not jumping on that level of hype yet, you know. If he bags 4 goals against Brighton in the Premier League in front of their fans at the Amex, then he's the next Mbappe. But if he's bagging against Accrington Stanley, then I'm not believing it just yet.
Well, it'd be your Mbappe if he'd done it against Brighton. And I know Brighton is one of your rivals, and Niall did mention about Palace Charlton being a big rivalry, and he asked on if you had other rivalries like Milton and Millwall and Luton.
Okay, so in a nutshell, geographically, Millwall would be the closest to us in South London. They're only up the train tracks from our stadium. The history-wise, it is Brighton, but that's a whole another thing. I'm not going to go into the history because I'll be here till next week. But Charlton, see, the funny thing is Charlton wouldn't really be like vitriolic hate. It's more like a one-sided hate. Like, they've got an FA Cup over us, but they have more hate for us than we do them. When we play Charlton, we're like, oh, cool, we're playing Charlton. When they play us, yeah, we got Palace in the cup. I'm like, oh, okay, calm down. It's only a game of football. It's not that big a deal. Like, we played them in the League Cup. What was it? Maybe 7, 8, 9 years ago, whatever it was. And the thing they were remembered for most was smashing up the away end because they lost 4-1. And they lost to our reserves for 1. And I went, our reserves just beat their first team 4-1. And they're still celebrating relegating us in 2005, yet they've been in League One before we have. That's interesting. Because, like I said, Maisy, like, I don't care for Charlton on a, like, I hate Charlton and they're the enemy. It's like, they're just Charlton. Like, it doesn't, Brighton gets me annoyed. I'm like, oh, we got to play them lot on the South Coast again. Oh, great. Yeah. Millwall in the FA Cup last year, I was like, Millwall. There's like, is that scene in the football in the football factory? It's beeping Millwall. It's like, Millwall in the FA Cup. No, you're lying. I couldn't believe it, but yeah. So it'd be Brighton, Millwall, Charlton, and probably QPR. But that's just me personally because I can't stand QPR. Or as Louis Van Gaal once called them, Queen's Park Raisins. I was like, raisins? What?
I remember that. Oh, that was class. It was absolutely class. Hey there, Indian Scouser. I hope you're well. Thank you for coming in. And Hey there as well, Uncle Rod. So I hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. I'll try and do one again soon, Nippon. I'll put a message when I'm gonna do one, and I'll message you personally if you like, so you'll know. Hey there as well, Solo. Thank you for coming in. I hope you are well. I know you've made some signings as well in January. For you, what do you feel like is Patrick Vieira's transfer strategies? Do you think it's bringing young players in, developing them at the club? Because we've seen like Conor Gallagher coming in and he had a great season at Crystal Palace on loan.
Well, this kind of does tie into, ironically, Roy Hodgson, because a lot of our fan base were moaning that Roy Hodgson was signing experienced players that were at the back end of their career or moving towards the end of their career. But the likes of Gary Cahill, Mamadou Sakho, these are veterans of the Premier League who know the Premier League better than anyone. And they literally kept us up when we were really, really awful to watch. And I remember people would say to me, how do you watch that every week? I said, I've seen worse. No, you couldn't have seen worse. I said, I watched Adi Akinbaye play for us up front. Trust me, I've seen worse. So when we decided to let Roy Hodgson go at the end of his contract and Vieira came in, we'd already started this process of trying to sign younger players. It's just we didn't see it as a rebuild when we signed Nathan Ferguson from West Brom on a free and Ebere Eze for 16 million, because Eze was just the attacking midfielder that we never thought Roy Hodgson would play with. We're like, Roy Hodgson playing an attacking player? What?
Everyone said he was 11 defenders on the pitch.
If he could play 11 defenders, he would. We were parking Croydon bus garage every home game at Selhurst Park. The whole bus garage was getting parked at Selhurst Park. But yeah, when you look at like Eze for 16 million, Elise for 8 million, Mark Gay for 20 million, Joachim Andersen for something like 20, something between 15 to 20 or 25 million. You look at Odson Edouard for like 14 million, you know. People look at these kind of signings, and obviously the names stick out because we signed Anderson from Lyon, Edouard from Celtic, and Edouard was prolific at Celtic. And to be fair to him, you know, he had a fantastic debut against Tottenham, scored twice, sent a very famous Spurs fan into a meltdown, which still makes me laugh to this day because it was just hilarious. But the strategy with the club now is to de-age the squad, because we had the oldest squad under Hodgson, and you can tell because we had Gary Cahill, Martin Kelly, James Tompkins, Joel Ward. It's just like, how many old age pensioners have we got playing for the club? We could give Chelsea a run for the money with the Chelsea pensioners. Blooming heck. We could have literally fielded a team full of OAPs, but it's just nice that we're signing a lot of younger players now, and we're trying to blood players from the academy as well, because David Ozo made his debut in the Newcastle draw, and like I said, he's our youngest ever player. I'm like, 17 years of age, and wasn't born before he was born after we got relegated. Oh, I'm getting old. I don't want to live it anymore. But,
as I've told you backstage, Nate, you're not old.
I'm older than you think. Put it that way. But you know, it's crazy to us because we've never seen a transfer strategy like this before. We're used to signing players that just do the job for us and get us over the line, or we sign a player out of left field that there's a lot of hype around him, but he never delivers. Shout out Max Meyer. I can't ever understand why we signed that guy. He was so bad. But you see what I'm saying? We tried to sign players that had pedigree and hype and all of that. And, you know, we got lucky with Lombardo back in the day. And I'm amazed. It's like, I can't believe this guy played for my football club. What? Attilio Lombardo. Mad. But yeah, I'm loving the transfer strategy because the academy under Dougie Friedman and Mark Bright, two club legends, it's like the club is literally at its best when we've got club legends at academy level, sporting director. We've got a chairman who's a fan of the club. You know, we've got academy players in the first team in Zaha, Mitchell, Klein, now Ozo, a couple of other youngsters breaking through as well. So we even had that documentary highlighting our academy on Channel 4 towards the end of last year, which we did on our channel on Eagle Eyed Football. So seeing so much youth come into the Palace team now, it's like we were the oldest, now we're becoming one of the youngest teams. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm fine with that, provided that we actually make it count rather than just become a young side that people just cherry pick our best players from. But look, that's the nature of mid-table clubs. Look at Southampton and hopefully Brighton. I hope they get fleeced for their players. But I'm still annoyed that Arsenal didn't sign Caicedo because I'm like, you need to start raiding them. They need to drop
More
down.
like Brighton's fleecing others. Have you seen how much they sold for Cucurella?
To be fair, though, I mean, if you're going to sell Sideshow Bob for serious money, you may as well make sure you get a good for you, Bob. You know what I mean? That was terrible. I know. I apologize.
It was fine. It was a good joke. Reese has got a question, which I was actually going to ask you next, about Patrick Vieira. Was he the one you wanted, or did you have someone else in preference?
Boy, so with Vieira, I won't lie, he wasn't remotely on anyone's radar at Palace, but because we went in initially for Nuno Espirito Santo. Oh, no. I would rather bring back Tony Pulis, Alan Pardew, Neil Warnock, Roy Hodgson. I don't want that Portuguese Mr. Bean anywhere near this football club. No way in hell. Then we were linked with Lucien Favre, who had a very good record of bringing young players through at Dortmund and went on to Nice after that. And he backed out at the last minute. So when we heard Patrick Vieira, we were like, Patrick Vieira? Eh? Like, obviously, we know who he is, but it was like, Patrick Vieira is managing Crystal Palace. What? But because we'd had Hodgson for so many years, we had to give it a go. We had to see, is he going to have the impact we need? Because bear in mind, we were not expecting anything. We had no barometer to set it to. We were just saying, look, if we play decent football, we don't get relegated, and we make a couple of decent signings, hopefully it's decent. To see how we started playing in pre-season last season, I was like, yo, this is different. We're finally playing on the floor. No more hoofing it halfway up the pitch. So to see us actually play a bit of football last season was great. It was great. And to be fair to Vieira, like I said, when the press was saying that he's the first to be sacked from Lampard and Slippy G, it's like, how did that work out again? Sorry, because our manager's an invincible and he's still in a job, and Lampard and Gerrard are touching the job centre. So how'd that work out, Daily Mail? How'd that work out?
Well, we knew. Us United fans are not. I'm not a fan of Patrick Vieira because of the rivalry with Man United and Arsenal. Like, we remember the Roy Keane business as well, which was one what you probably remember also. But going into the game,
did I not tell you to stop making me feel old? Did I not already say this?
But I remember it. It was when I was born.
No, I know that, but still.
It wasn't so I was a little baby in my mother's womb. I was living and kicking about and all that.
All right. Take it down.
But going into the game from a few weeks ago, do you think you may make any particular changes at all, or do you think Patrick Vieira may go to the same lineup knowing that he got a draw out of his team?
Well, he can't go for the same lineup because Zaha's injured. So that's already a big problem for us. But to be fair, I actually think it could be the best thing for us because we now need to get used to there being life after him, because Zaha's contract's up at the end of the season. So the idea of playing without Wilf and winning without Wilf needs to become the norm, because for so many years now, it's been the Wilfried Zaha show featuring Crystal Palace. And don't get me wrong, I love Wilfried Zaha to the death. Like, this guy, he gave me one of the best nights of my life when he scored twice against Brighton in the playoff semi-final in the Championship. Because until you score against your biggest rivals on their own turf, when they're so confident that they're going to Wembley at your expense, and they keep telling you that this guy is better than your player, even though that guy went on to get to play the Sunderland and got relegated, I'm like, Buckley's better than Zaha, yeah? Okay, mate. Okay, we'll see about that. But yeah, look, with Wilf, he will be a massive miss. Don't get me wrong. He loves to score against Man United because he kind of feels a certain way that Adnan Januzaj got picked over him. And I'm thinking, Januzaj, yeah? The guy that would be better off selling hair gel than playing as a footballer got picked over Zaha. Okay, I see you, Man United. I see you. But no, to be fair, when Januzaj first broke through, he did look like a great player. I'm not going to front. Like, who played in the Premier League longer? Januzaj or Zaha? So we kind of had the last laugh on that one. Plus, I won't lie, selling him for 10 million, buying him back for 3 million, yeah, that's a good feeling. But with Wilf being out, Mays, I'm not going to lie, it is a blow. But like I said, we need to start playing and winning without Wilf in the team. Because next season, there is no Wilf. He is gone because I don't see him signing a new deal. I don't want him to sign a new deal because he needs to have one last crack at possibly top-level football. And we can't give him that. I would love us to do it, but our last chance of doing that was win the FA Cup. And like I said, Charity Professional Football Club decided, what's that, Southampton? You want to go to Wembley? Here's a free ticket to the next round. We don't want to go. We did it last season. It's like, no, I wanted to go back to Wembley. I enjoyed that day out despite losing to Chelsea. But no, Charity Professional Football Club struck again. So, but look, the last game at Selhurst Park, I would have taken a 0-0 draw with a dodgy VAR call going in our favour because we had no luck going into that. We'd only beaten Bournemouth, and it's like, well, we beat Bournemouth. You know.
Yeah.
Jordan Ayew scored against Bournemouth. I'm not taking that seriously. You know you're crap when he scores against you. So I ain't taking that win seriously. It was a great win, but I'm just like, Ayew scored. That's bad. If he's scoring, that's you're doo-doo if he's scoring. Then we got smacked by Fulham. Oh, great. 9 men, 3-0 defeat. Merry Christmas, Palace fans. Yay! Then Tottenham came to town. Harry Kane hasn't scored in 600 minutes of Premier League football. Charity Professional Football Club. Here we go. I know what's coming next. Young-Min Son hasn't scored in 900 minutes of Premier League football. Oh, boy.
Did he get a hat-trick against us? Was that when he got a hat-trick?
No, I think he got a brace. Yeah, he got a brace.
He got a brace. I thought he had a hat-trick for some reason.
No, because then of all people to score, it was Matt Doherty. I went, Matt Doherty. Doherty. The guy who runs like he's made of porridge scored against us.
Guy who's been let go is terminated contract.
Like I told you, Maisy, Charity Professional Football Club. If there's a player on your team that hasn't scored for love or money, guaranteed to score against us. I guarantee it.
Scott McTominay. Oh, he's got a knock. That's
It don't matter. He can be on one leg. He'll score a 45-yard screamer against us. McTominay from the halfway line. Oh, it's a goal. Cue me going, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is Charity Professional Football Club, making bang average footballers look world class since 1861.
Where do you think Zaha will go in the summer? I must be honest, I do feel sorry for Zaha at his time at Man United because obviously he was signed as one of the last players under Sir Alex Ferguson, and he just knew once Fergie left what's going to happen to him. He just didn't work out, which is a bit of a shame. But where do you think he'll go? Stay in the Premier League? Go out abroad?
3 letters, A-B-E, anywhere but England. As long as he can't come back and haunt us and score a 55-yard worldie at Selhurst Park, I don't care where he plays. Spain, France, Italy, Germany, Albania, Switzerland, Kosovo, Ivory Coast, anywhere but England, and I'm happy. Anywhere but the Premier League, I'm happy. As long as he can't come back and score against us, I don't care where he plays. But like I said, I want him to get at least one level of top-year football, even if it's in the Europa League, because the one thing I wanted more than anything was to see him hopefully lead us into Europe, but it weren't to be. But look, there is the petulant side to Zaha, and that's been seen for a number of years where you wind him up and he gets himself in all kinds of struts, and I'm like, Wilf, you're only a month younger than me. Oh, Lord, this is not a good look. But, but I think with Zaha, it just depends on what he wants. Plus, he's got a young family, so maybe moving out of England may not be ideal, but you never know. He'll go where the money goes. Wilfried Zaha to Wolves. Well, you spelt his name wrong for a start. And secondly, why would he go to a team below us in the table? That's kind of a backwards move, but you do you. Zaha to Brighton, I reckon. I mean, Matt, I'm not going to lie. You need to worry about playing Millwall next year, my guy, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
I hope you're well, Matt. Thank you for coming in, and
who cares? Now, big up to Matt all the time.
big up, Matt. And how's the construction going in the new stadium for the championship?
You're playing Millwall next year. You're playing Millwall next year.
And hey there as well, Henry. Thank you for coming in. I hope that you are well. We'll go to some of the questions because there was quite a few questions in the chat. And first one from Niall: would you ever take back Simon Jordan back as an owner?
No way in hell.
How horrible is this from Matt? He never liked me. That is so rude.
He's just in his feelings. Don't mind him. He's only in his feelings.
That's so rude. Matt, I'm hurt by this. Hey there, Anthony. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate the support. So, question from Reese. What is your favourite Man United versus Palace game and why? Is it the 2016 FA Cup final?
Darren Ambrose at Old Trafford.
The one was already mentioned.
Yep. Oh, no, actually, no, hang on. No. I take that back. It definitely has to be the Patrick Van Aanholt Fergie time winner. Because, like I said earlier, in a pub full of Manchester United fans singing Glory, Glory, Man United, drawing with little old Palace. And just when they were about to sing their songs, Van Aanholt scores the winner. And I had a whole heap of Liverpool fans buying me drinks the rest of the night. So I'm like, you know what? It's a good feeling. But no, to be fair, the FA Cup final 2016, I'm not going to lie. Another day, punch and goal wins it for us. If Mark Clattenburg had done his job properly, he wouldn't have disallowed a perfectly good goal. But look, Lingard's goal won you the cup. It is what it is. But, I mean, to be fair, we had to let United win it because otherwise, we'd have heard you crying about Van Gaal. Oh, he's ruining the club and everything's going wrong and he's ruining the club. I've never seen Man United fans cry so much. But no, look, the cup final hurt at the time. But that was what is it now? Almost 7 years ago? Look, it is what it is. Although the Pardew dance, I was like, yeah, we don't deserve to win it after that. No. That was so painful. So why? We haven't even won it and you're dancing like a drunken dad at a wedding. Oh, Lord in heaven.
Matt's cleared the air with me. He said he's always loved me. And it's all mutual, Matt. But he said about you, Nate, he doesn't have feelings for you.
No, he doesn't have any feelings anymore. He's like Linkin Park. He's so numb from Everton. Matt, I feel your pain, bro. Trust me. I know how it feels because them days under Roy Hodgson, I'm just like Linkin Park.
But Everton have rolled the dice and we will finish 40. We never know. But hey there as well, Rich. Thanks for coming in. I hope you're well. And thank you for having me on earlier on also. Question from Rather. Thoughts on how the link-up play is for Palace?
How the link-up play is, I mean, when it works, but we've been so heavily reliant on Doucouré in midfield this season that everything's through him, and he's taking more shots than ever now. And it's like, Doucouré, you're not that guy. By all means, have a shot when you've got a chance at goal, but my man's shooting from the halfway line. I was at the Wolves game on my birthday in October, and I was thinking, fair play, because he shot from just outside the box, so it was on target, but I'm like, why is our defensive midfielder taking shots? Like, where was our attacking midfielder and striker? Then I realized, they're playing centre back. Oh, leave me. I can't deal with this. But the link-up play, when it works, it works really well. But Vieira really hasn't had the players to play how he wants to play. He's still got a lot of players at the club that aren't his players. Like I said, James Tompkins, Milivojevic. I don't want to go on too much, but when it works brilliantly. But most of the time, it's like a flat tire on a car. You might get away with it, but more often than not, it's just you can hear it in the road. It's sounding a bit off. You're like, yeah, it's not looking good. I've seen Matt's comment about that 3-2. No, that's wicked, mate. But I remember Lampard talking about lucky goal, fluke goal, average goal. when you lot got slapped 4-0 in the FA Cup, mate. Mm-hmm. You hold that 3-2. It's cool. Because I'm still pissed about that lucky goal and fluke goal. Even though it was an Everton player's fault for that lucky goal going in. But whoop, what can you do?
Who's Lampard? I think he's in Vieira's pocket.
He has been since they played as players, so that's nothing new.
That's true. Another question from Ravi. Do you think your squad depth is good enough?
Oh gosh. Striker wise, no. We've only got 2 strikers. Wingers, not really, because Zaha's injured. Elise is our only real winger, and even then, he's kind of hit and miss. Jordan Ayew is a fraud because he's crap for Garnet and crap for us. So I'm thinking if it wasn't for his dad, he wouldn't be a footballer. Midfielders improved because we've got Sambi Lakonga and Ahamada in. Defense, apart from the centre backs were okay. Fullbacks, no. Goalkeeper, no. So yeah, we still need work on it. But look, if you'd have offered me the squad we have now to what we had under Hodgson, trust me, we're doing far better now. So I can't really complain, but I like to grumble, so I'll grumble.
Mm-hmm. The question from Niall: do you see Edouard finishing top goal scorer since he moved from Celtic? I think maybe top goal scorer for Palace.
If he gets the service, he should, and he gets himself in those positions, hopefully. But the thing with Edouard is we're not really playing to his strengths as such, because Zaha is not really that kind of a crossing winger anymore, and Elise doesn't really cross all that much anymore, which he very rarely crosses. But when you play to his strengths, Edouard can score. But I still think even a one-legged Wilfried Zaha will be our top scorer, because nobody else scores goals for us. So yeah, it's probably going to be Wilf again.
Mm-hmm. Another question from Radver. Thoughts on who is the best strike force for Palace this season?
Oh gosh. With everyone fit, you'd have to say Wilf left, Elise right, Edouard up top, and Eze in the 10. Although, to be fair, when Mateta plays, he's actually a bit more of a physical threat against centre-back. So it depends on our opposition, I guess. Like if we're playing against centre-backs that are pretty like big and they need someone to be roughed up with, Mateta's that guy because he's lanky and awkward. Whereas Edouard, he's just stocky and he'll just bounce off defenders and win cheap fouls. But yeah, it's best like attacking formation for us would be Eze in the 10, Elise right, Zaha left, and one of Edouard or Mateta up top. But I would preferably, I'd like to sign somebody like Antoine Semenyo, because a third striker would really help us out. But we don't need a striker in January. No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be fine.
So it's the 4-2-3-1 then you play?
Combination of 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. It kind of shifts between what players we do and don't have. Like I said, having to play Jeffrey Schlupp in midfield, I'd rather play with 10 men because that's less painful to watch. But you can't. It's like when you've got players at the club that they're not good enough, but there's no one else to play, so you just have to put up with what you've got. And to be fair to Schlupp, when he feels like it, he can be a hell of a player when he feels like it. But that's, oh gosh, we're talking about maybe 2 years ago now. And since then, it's like, what happened to him? Oh, he's still here. Oh, I thought he was gone. But yeah, it's fun being a Palace fan because you're always surprised. Wait, he's still here? I thought we got rid of this guy. We didn't. Oh, well, this is awkward.
Ravi asked, for me, do you think Palace will prove tricky to break down? And for me, I actually think so. We haven't actually scored more than 2 goals against Crystal Palace since 2019, which is really mad to think of. I was literally looking at our last so many games, our record. The last 4 games have shown how well defensively you've actually played. The 1-1 draw, you beat us 1-0. When we beat you 1-0, a draw, that was 21-23, and then before that you beat us 3-1. July 2020, that would have been pre-season.
That could have been COVID season. That could have been the COVID season.
Yeah, that was COVID season, wasn't it? We beat you 2-0, and then you beat us 2-1 in 2019. The last time we scored more than 2 goals was February 2019. That just really shows how good of a performance that we always get from Crystal Palace, and you are very well defensively built when you play against us.
That's the beauty of having Hodgson as a manager. He sets you up not to lose. Although frustratingly, he does have you defend 1-0 defeats as well. So it's like, not quite sure it works like that, to be honest, Roy, but fair play. But yeah, it's you know what? Funnily enough, when we play the big boys, we're never really afraid of them. Like we went up to City a couple of years ago. Townsend scored that screamer, and I had City fans texting me going, "Can you lot stop beating us?"
Didn't that win goal of the season? That won goal of the season, did it, for the Premier League? Or goal of the month? It was one of the two.
I'm pretty sure it won goal of the month, but
I thought it won goal of the season as well.
It could have. I can't remember, but I remember a City fan I've known for years, and he was there before the money. Like he was at Main Road and the whole lot. Like he's way like he's been City for years. He even texted me. He said, "Can you lot stop beating us at the Etihad?" I said, "Oh no. I will never see this again in my life because I've seen us get panned 5-0 at City in the League Cup and in the Premier League." I'm like, I'm enjoying it for what it was. And when Townsend hit that corker, I was like, Andros, you've never scored a goal like that in your career. And he just whips it, and I'm just like, yo, crazy. But like, go back over all of the big teams. They hate playing us. Like the one game where the scoreline doesn't reflect the whole game was the 9-0 against Liverpool, where it was COVID season, and also we actually weren't as bad as that scoreline suggests. It's just we took an absolute hammering from that rampant Liverpool team. But I had Liverpool mates texting me saying, "Don't worry, the 9-0 looks bad, but you weren't as bad as that scoreline suggests." I was thinking 7-0. I was like, 7-0. Oh my Lord, I cannot believe this. But having said that, I remember thinking, to be fair, the big boys hate playing us. It's the teams around us we hate playing. Like I remember, what was it? Was it Burnley? We didn't beat Burnley for like 2 whole years in the Prem, and I'm like, we can't beat Brexit FC. Oh,
no one can. Everyone hates going to the turf more.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so annoying. But it's crazy. Like looking at those results, I mean, I remember that 4-0 in September of 2017 because it was just. But do you know what hurt me the most was the 3-2 win at Selhurst Park. It was like, of all people to score a worldie, it had to be Fellaini. I was like, oh my God.
Fellaini.
It was like Fellaini. Marwan, the Jackson 5 Fellaini. Scores a screamer against us. I don't want to live on this planet no more. Just get me out of here. I'm done. I can't do it. But look, it's mad because like even the 1-0 at your place last season, Fred scores a screamer. I'm like, Fred. Rashford, I can live with. Martial, I can live with. Even Wan-Bissaka, I could live with. But no.
Fred.
We have the most we have the most English-sounding Brazilian you will ever hear from scoring a screamer against us. I went, yeah, that's Charity Professional Football Club for you. But listen, fair play to him. It was a hell of a goal. I don't take credit away from great strikes like that, but it's like an English-sounding Brazilian scored a cracker against us. Oh, I hate this football club. I really do. Why? Why do you have to make my weekend so painful? But yeah, look, Palace United games lately, they've been horrible to watch because you're like, the longer it drags on, like that 1-1 draw, I was like, just don't lose 2-0, guys, please. Lose 1-0. I don't care if we lose. Just don't lose by more than 1 goal. And then Elise does that madness, and I went, I should be going crazy right now, but I don't like celebrating a draw because it just feels wrong.
It doesn't feel right. It's like celebrating a loss in a way, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, watching Brighton celebrate a draw against us last season, I was like, wow, so much for being the bigger club then, lads. Big clubs don't celebrate draws. Like, by all means, enjoy a last-minute equaliser against your arch rivals. I fully get it. But it's like, oh, celebrating a draw. Oh, dear. They're going to put that on a T-shirt now, aren't they? Jesus, that's so painful. But yeah, look, like I said, Maisy, before we started, I just want to get this game out of the way, really. Just get Old Trafford out of the way. Don't worry about Old Trafford no more. We've played Chelsea twice. We'll play you twice, and then we just worry about the rest as well. Get them all out of the way and just get the season over with and clear the decks. That's all we need to do. But yeah, it should be interesting.
Good evening, Statman. I hope you're well. Thank you for coming in. Matt said big clubs don't celebrate draws, but I'm not a big club. I'll celebrate every draw we get going forward.
I remember those days, Matt. Every point feels like a win. I know how that feels. But look, the fact that Everton are in that kind of a mess, I feel for Matt because Everton shouldn't be in that position. But this is when you buy bad and you hire bad managers. Well, not bad managers, but you don't get the right manager for the right players. This is what you get. I mean, all I'm saying is if they didn't get Sean Dyche, Big Sam was available. And I'm just like, imagine going back to Big Sam. Oh, Lord.
Hey there, Doug. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Doug said, I think this will be an extremely close encounter. I think Man United will win 3-2. And hey there, Football Power Hour. I hope you're well. Thank you for coming in. Niall has asked you, Nate, what was your best memory and best moment when Palace had Hodgson?
Oh, boy. Best memory was probably the 5-0 over Leicester because that was just completely unexpected because it's like, how have we scored 5? What? We don't even score 2 under Hodgson. So to bang them 5-0 was pretty fun. But the best moment for Hodgson was probably that first Man United win because he was taking a lot of heat from the fans prior to that. And that win kind of that win actually lifted a lot of heat off him because we were all saying, look, we get it. He's not going to have a whole heap of money to spend and sign players, but we expect better. We get a last minute winner in Fergie time away at Old Trafford, the first team to do it in the Prem. I'm like, only Patrick Van Aanholt, who can't defend for love or money, would be the one to score a goal in Fergie time to win us a game at Old Trafford. The guy literally was just playing suicide football half the time he was up the pitch. I remember singing away at Watford, where is our left back? We didn't know where he was. We were looking for him on the other side of the pitch. So I'm like, where is our left back actually? But it's best memory with Hodgson was definitely the Man United win because, well, to be fair, the City win was pretty good as well. But no, the United win was poignant because Hodgson came through the right. Hodgson was a youth player for us. So it was like having one of our own in the dugout. It was like, it's kind of nice, actually. Even though he drove the fan base mad. But to be fair, he wasn't as bad as Pardew. So I'll give Roy Hodgson credit. He wasn't as bad as Alan Pardew. Because, that guy, man. Oh.
We'll do one last question for you from Niall. Would you take back Conor Gallagher? I know on deadline day, just yourself and Newcastle were linked.
Nope. Reason being is because when we played against Chelsea lately, we really kind of saw Gallagher's a great player. He was great for us last season, don't get me wrong. But we fell into the trap of falling in love with a lone player and it burnt us massively. Our chairman is still twerking for him. I'd rather he just moved on. He's like that ex that can't get the message that, it's not happening. So it's like, yo, Steve, he's not going to call you back. Just move on, mate. It's kind of embarrassing at this point. Like, he blocked your number and everything. So I like Gallagher as a player, but yeah, I don't see us going in for him again. Hopefully not, because I think we could do better spending the kind of money for him on our entire squad. That would be a better investment for me, is sign players for that £40 million fee he's going for. Because I'm like, he's not even worth half. He's probably worth 20 million now. He's been so under the pecking order at Chelsea. So no, he's definitely not. He's not as high up as he should have been. But look, last season, I would have taken him in a heartbeat. But this season, no, I'd rather Decore, because that kid is cold.
He played well.
2 years of age. But this is why I love Dougie Friedman. When you need him to sign a good player, he does it. Apart from when he first came in as director of football. Yeah. We may need to go back and review the tapes on that one, because he got off to a rocky start. But hey, every DOF does that way.
UFTV, hey there, I hope you well. Thank you for coming in. Final question we'll do from Reese. Thoughts on Sancho's return? Did you like how he played in the 10? I really like the fact he got in around the box from central position. I think Sancho played very well. I know you mentioned that Sancho could play good in the 10, and I think the way he was able to go into the narrow spaces, bring the ball forward, I think he was great. He was happy. That's all that matters. So yeah, I think Sancho had a good game, and I'm sorry, Henry, but I did warn people at the start of the chat that people who was going to mention that specific name is going to get timed out. So you have been timed out now. So sorry, Henry, but I did say at the start of the stream. But we'll wrap it up now. Nate, what's your score prediction?
Okay, so in our predictions league, I've actually backed a Palace win because we need to turn our form around. However, speaking logically, without any heart in it or without any hope rather than expectation, I will probably back a Man United win because, to be honest, after the defeat to Arsenal, you need to get your form back a little bit in the league. Obviously, winning in the League Cup is a little bit different. 2-1 Man United, but I'm kind of naturally hoping for a Palace win. But I will be fair on a Manchester United channel and probably back United to win on Saturday. But hopefully that doesn't happen. With all due respect, I'm trying to be, polite here, but once the game's over, we're all friends again. So it's not really, it's not a personal thing. But I would say 2-1 United to be truthful. But hopefully not.
I've gone for 2-1 for Man United as well. We've never really scored that many goals against Palace, not in a long time. And Palace, I do think you always play well against, or if that's at home or that's at Sellers Park. So I'd be happy with a 2-1. I know a lot of United fans will probably want a lot more possession, be a lot more dominant. But for me, it's about the 3 points. That's what matters. And even if you don't play your best game and you get 3 points, it's the 3 points that matter. No one's going to look at the game as we've just seen this last so many games. No one's going to look at that game in 2027 and go, you was dead poor in that game, even though we got the 3 points.
Maisie, it's very simple. If you can play crap and get the 3 points, you're not going to look back and go, we were so rubbish. You won. Doesn't matter. The thing is, I'd rather play crap and win than play well and lose. Because playing well and losing, yeah, you played well, but you lost. So I am firmly expecting United to be well up for it because obviously at Old Trafford, you need, like I said, you need to get back into into winning ways. But I think what happened at Sellers Park will be in the back of United's minds. They're like, we can't write Palace. Because that's the thing that United fell into at Sellers Park is you thought the game was won at 1-0. And Mateta had a great... No, sorry, that was the Newcastle game. But there were a couple of moments for us that you're like, hang on a minute. This game isn't over. But it felt from our... did these United players really think the game is won at 1-0? I was thinking, okay... Luke Shaw then decides to go full-blown Patrick Vanano and give Elise pops it top corner, and I went, Elise, I didn't know you had that kind of tech, but I'm happy to see it. Because I'm like, no, sorry, I do know he has that kind of tech because he did it against West Ham, and that peed off my best mate who was fuming. He went, where'd you get him from? I'm not telling you nothing of our transfer secrets. Every time we're linked with a player, West Ham sign him. Go away. Go get your own scouting department. Stop using us. I'm going to say 2-1 United. Amazing.
Thank you, Nate, for coming on. It's been a great show, and you was fantastic on the show, so I really appreciate you taking the time. Would you like to shout out your socials?
Yeah, you can normally find me on Eagle Eyed Football. On Twitter at Nate Eyed on my Eagle Eyed Nate account, which I'm very rarely on, but that's mainly because I'm dealing with the Eagle Eyed Football account now, as well as my own personal Twitter, which I don't really want to shout out because that's kind of a personal Twitter. But if you want to follow me on Twitter at Nate Eyed, that's my Twitter account. You can also follow us at Eagle Eyed Football. You can obviously jump over on our channel and check the preview we did as well. We do an awful lot of different things on our channel, and obviously, Maisy, you're welcome on the channel anytime you want. especially to talk trash about Liverpool, because right now they are absolute doo-doo, and I'm living for it. I'm living for it. Do you know why? Because the guy I work with is a Liverpool fan, and I've heard nothing but misery of him the last 3 years. Now all of a sudden, he doesn't want to talk about football. I went, oh, that's strange. You don't want to talk about football anymore. That's kind of odd, isn't it? Yeah, it's just I'm not enjoying it anymore. It says, really? Tell me more. Because, funnily enough, when we lost 7-0 to you, I never heard the end of it, but I just kept it moving. But when United beat Liverpool at the start of the season, I went, I thought you were going to win 4-0, wasn't it? I don't want to talk about it. Oh, okay. Cool. Just remember, never ever predict a heavy scoreline in any kind of rivalry game. That's where it backfires. But yeah, people, look, you can always find me over on Eagle Eyed Footballers. Ravi's found the channel there. So listen, everybody, thank you very much to Maisy for having me on the channel. It's been a blast. Hopefully, we've had a good bit of a laugh. But look, come the full-time whistle, we're all friends again, unless you support Millwall. In that case, yeah, just
no.
No. If you're a Liverpool fan or a Brighton fan or a Millwall fan, just go. Just get out the door. Just go. But listen, people, it's been a pleasure. It's been a blast. Maisy, we'll do this again sometime. People, thanks for having me, and we'll see you later.
See you very late, very, very, very soon. I'll be next live. I'm gonna watch along for the Man United women game. As Nate said, he don't like Liverpool, so we all like Man City and Liverpool as Man United chant. But yeah, see you all Sunday, 11:45. Be there and take care. And go and subscribe to Eagle Eye Football. Take care. Bye bye.
Eagles.